How many have passed away? The dense new graves in rural China are terrifying.
It's all covered in today's China Truths.
The epidemic is raging in mainland China, and news of sudden deaths is frequent. New funeral homes are being built and expanded in many places. Recently, a video circulated online showing that new graves are densely packed in rural areas, and the scene is terrifying. Real shots of new graves everywhere in China, crematoriums everywhere. On March 22, the Third Eye Video News on the Clean World platform pointed out that the epidemic in China has broken out, the death toll has increased dramatically, and real footage from China shows new graves everywhere, crematoriums everywhere. How many people are gone? According to the video, on a large stretch of green grass that extends as far as the eye can see, both sides of a country road are lined with new graves, some adorned with fresh wreaths. In another mountainous area featured in the video, the man filming said, "There are new graves like this everywhere in the countryside, 2 here and 2 more in the distance. It can be seen that many elderly people have died this year. I wonder if they are included in the statistics." The Chinese Communist Party authorities are building crematoriums everywhere. According to Video News, a large number of villagers in Qingshou Village, Longnan City, Gansu Province, gathered outside the village to protest the local government's construction of a crematorium at their doorstep. Some netizens also posted a video showing that a crematorium was being built less than 1 kilometer from villagers' homes. The authorities did not consult the residents before building the crematorium. "This is more inhumane than robbers and bandits," one person commented. Information indicates that the authorities actually began building crematoriums near villagers' homes 2 years ago, indirectly suggesting that the outbreak at that time caused a sharp increase in deaths. For convenience, crematoriums were placed near residential areas. With the rising number of deaths, crematoriums in Beijing, Jiangsu, and other locations are now being expanded. Many places in mainland China are spending huge sums of money to build and expand funeral homes. According to mainland media reports, in 2024, a large number of funeral homes in Hainan, Xinjiang, and other provinces will be put into use. Among them, Shanxi Province invested 4 billion yuan to build 89 new funeral homes. The new funeral home in Wenshui, a small county in the province, covers an area of 56 acres. In Hunan, Yiyangnan County invested 18 million yuan to expand its funeral home, while Hubei's Guangshui City spent 270 million yuan to build a new crematorium. A large number of funeral homes are also expanding in 2024. The official website of the Pudong New Area Government of Shanghai shows that the estimated total investment for the Pudong Funeral Home expansion project is 770 million yuan. Other expansions include Shenzhen Funeral Home, Shanghai Qingpu District Funeral Home, Guangdong Zhongshan City Funeral Home, Yangjiang City Yangshi County Funeral Home, Ningxia Zhongwei City Zhongning County Funeral Home, and Zhejiang Shaoqing Shenzhou City Funeral Home, among others. As a result, many netizens questioned how many people have died in China over the past 3 years of the epidemic. Since the outbreak, COVID-19, CCP virus, and other epidemics have continued. How many people have actually died? Especially during this year's Chinese New Year, many observed that there were no people in the south, no people in the north, no people in the cities, and no people in the countryside. No one knows where they have gone. A large number of people passed away during the Chinese New Year. Now, many people in their 30s and 40s are dying suddenly. Real China on the Clean World platform recently released a video frequently stating that the H1N1 situation in China is severe, with large-scale infections, and that the city cannot be locked down. It takes only 3 days from fever to cremation. A large number of people have been sent away during the Chinese New Year, yet this news is barely reported in mainland media. In the video, a woman said, "A large number of people around me have collapsed." The Clean World platform's video People's Daily on March 7th showed that the epidemic in mainland China is flaring up again. Recently, people in Henan, Shanxi, and other places have reported continuous news of deaths, including many young people born in the 1980s and 1990s who have died suddenly. Mr. Li, a resident of Guangzhou, Guangdong, said, "Now there are many people around me experiencing vomiting, diarrhea, fever, cough, and prolonged coughing. I heard that many of those who died suddenly were young. 40 and 50 years old is still young." Mr. Li, a villager from Zhoukou, Henan, said, "There are many cases of colds, runny noses, and fevers, one after another. The hospital can't accommodate them, and people are dying in waves from pneumonia, myocardial infarction, and cerebral infarction. Many people in their 30s and 40s are dying suddenly, just inexplicably gone. They can't afford cremation, so they are secretly buried. People are dying every day, all young." Mr. Liu, a resident of Anyang, Henan, said that many funeral homes in Henan are full, and new graves are everywhere in rural areas. Because people's bodies are now weaker and their immunity is lower, hospitals and clinics are always overcrowded. As far as I know, there have been a lot of deaths in rural areas this year. Information is being suppressed. Recently, there have been frequent reports of sudden deaths among police officers, lawyers, celebrities, and internet influencers. On March 18th, Kui Wenliang, director of the Ulabo police station of the Dabancheng branch of the Urumqi Public Security Bureau in Xinjiang, suddenly collapsed at his workplace and died after failed rescue efforts. His age is unknown. On March 9th, Qian Qian, China's baby of the century, born at 0000, suddenly died. The hospital listed the cause of death as sudden cardiac death. She was only 25 years old. On March 24th, the news quickly became the #1 trending topic on Weibo. On March 3rd, Xu Songxian, a lawyer at Beijing Yingke, Shanghai law firm, passed away due to illness at the age of 46. On February 25th, Chinese female internet influencer Mao Yuyu died of illness at the age of 24. On February 22nd, Qin Dan, a member of the Communist Party of China, political commissar, and first-level district chief of the Longshan County Forest Public Security Bureau in Jiangxi Prefecture, Hunan, died of a sudden illness at work at the age of 48. On February 21st, mainland Chinese musician Fang Datong passed away due to illness at the age of 41. On February 20th, Wang Xiaochu, a police officer of the Traffic Police Detachment of the Public Security Bureau of Luzhou City, Jiangxi Province, suddenly fell ill at his post and died after failed rescue efforts. He was only 54 years old. On February 18th, Andalosang, a well-known Tibetan singer in mainland China, passed away due to illness at the age of 39. On February 15th, Wu Yuyan, deputy director of the proofreading office of China's New Weekly, died of influenza at the age of 41. On February 15th, Shilin, a 20-year-old Uzbek female singer studying at Tsinghua University, suddenly died of illness. The specific cause of death is unknown. On the first day of the Chinese New Year this year, Shilin appeared on the CCTV stage of the Communist Party of China to participate in the 2025 Overseas Chinese Spring Festival Gala. On February 11th, Chinese actor Gao Liang died of a sudden illness at the age of 50. On February 8th, Xu Zhaojun, a lecturer at the School of Optics and Electronic Technology of China University of Metrology, passed away due to illness at the age of 32. Currently, multiple viruses such as COVID-19, influenza, norovirus, and avian influenza are spreading in mainland China, and there are increasing signs that a large number of people are dying in various places. Although Chinese Communist Party officials emphasize that this is the peak period of influenza, the public generally believes it is either a resurgence of the COVID-19 CCP virus epidemic, and they question whether the CCP is once again hiding the truth.
Typhoon Capricorn strikes. Guangdong fishermen seek shelter. Haikou shuts down completely. 700,000 Chinese pharmacies suffering losses, closure wave more severe than bubble tea shops. Xi Jinping promises $50 billion aid to Africa, sparking outrage among Chinese citizens. Falun Gong practitioners repeatedly targeted, longtime detainees face new abductions. New York governor's aide arrested, Chinese consul general resigns amid U.S. crackdown. It's all covered in today's China Truths. China to face a food crisis by year-end? Experts, grain prices will exceed expectations. An X-account, Kaijing Shujuku, or Financial Database in English, reports that Chinese economist Lu Linyuan warned China could face a food crisis by the end of this year or early next spring, potentially lasting 3 to 5 years, with food prices expected to soar to unprecedented levels. Some people have reacted with concern, noting that even pro-government experts are pessimistic, suggesting that a situation similar to the early 1960s food crisis and Great Famine might be looming. However, there are others who remain skeptical of Lu's views. An article by The Economist reported that the Chinese Communist Party's large-scale grain purchases and hoarding have significantly driven up global food prices. The lingering effects of the pandemic, geopolitical tensions, and last year's severe rainfall threatening wheat harvests have put pressure on China's food supply. To address these challenges, the CCP has resorted to stockpiling grain, among other measures. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that by mid-year, China's grain reserves will comprise 69% of the world's corn, 60% of rice, and 51% of wheat reserves. However, whether these reserves will ultimately benefit the general population remains uncertain. In recent years, General Secretary Xi Jinping has frequently stressed the importance of food security and increased domestic food production, preparing for potential disruptions such as natural disasters or strained international relations. Analysts suggest that the CCP's aggressive global grain buying and hoarding is a key factor contributing to rising global food prices. Is Xi Jinping's grand food strategy hinting at a food crisis? Chinese state media People's Daily reported that Xi Jinping recently stressed the need for a grand food strategy to secure China's food supply. During an inspection in Guangdong in April, Xi highlighted the importance of diversifying food sources from both land and sea, advocating for marine farming and the development of blue granaries. According to Xi, this strategy is aimed at ensuring food security by expanding beyond traditional grain crops to include a wider variety of food sources, while maintaining strict standards on quality and safety. He has consistently emphasized food security since taking office, famously stating, "The Chinese people's rice bowl must always be firmly held in our own hands, primarily filled with Chinese grain." Independent economist Qin Weiping, speaking to Radio Free Asia, pointed out that the CCP's primary concern is the security of its governance, which is closely tied to food security. He warned that a severe food crisis could pose a significant threat to the regime, suggesting that Xi's emphasis on the grand food strategy reflects traditional Chinese approaches of utilizing all available resources but also signals growing challenges in ensuring food security. Data from 2020 reveals a stark imbalance in China's food supply. The production of staple grains, corn, wheat, rice, and soybeans, totaled 560 million tons, while demand reached 697 million tons, leaving a deficit of 137 million tons. Soybeans and corn are largely dependent on imports. Qin Weiping believes these figures underscore the severity of the food security issue, interpreting Xi's grand food strategy as a veiled message to the public to brace for potential shortages and lower expectations, emphasizing that a variety of food, not just the traditional staples, must be accepted. Qin also highlighted that, even based on official data, China struggles to ensure basic food security, exacerbated by severe wealth disparity and a large low-income population. He recalled the Great Famine under the CCP's early rule, warning that a prolonged economic downturn could lead to a resurgence of starvation, which would then become a critical threat to the authorities beyond just a food crisis. Reports of starvation have surfaced from various regions in China. A university graduate from Beijing was found dead from hunger in a rental in Xi'an. A skeletal child was discovered faint from hunger by a delivery worker in Jiaozhou, Shandong, and instances of people starving on the streets of Dongguan, Guangdong, known for job opportunities, have been reported, along with many rural farmers forced into vagrancy. Despite these domestic challenges, the CCP continues to export significant quantities of vegetables to war-stricken and isolated Russia. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reports that Shouguang, Shandong, exports up to 500,000 tons of vegetables annually to Russia, including tomatoes, bell peppers, and carrots, mainly through the Manzhouli and Swifen ports. Planned economy cannot solve food supply issues. U.S.-based commentator Yakagawa discusses Xi Jinping's grand food strategy, suggesting it may lack practical value, as he believes that market liberalization, rather than planned economic measures, has historically addressed the needs of the Chinese people since the CCP's founding. He refers to historical instances, such as the Great Famine resulting from China's public ownership and planned economy in the 1950s and 1960s. According to Yakagawa, food supply and diversification issues were resolved only after the Cultural Revolution, when the household responsibility system allowed for semi-privatization, enabling the market to respond to shortages. Yakagawa views the reliance on planned economic methods to solve issues typically addressed by market economies as unrealistic, making the grand food strategy unlikely to resolve China's current challenges. He suggests that addressing China's food problems fundamentally requires a shift towards a market economy and land privatization. However, land in China remains state-owned, with citizens holding only usage rights, and recent local government land acquisitions for real estate development have led to significant amounts of unused land. Urbanization further reduces arable land, impacting food security. Yakagawa also points out ongoing food safety concerns in China. Despite the implementation of the Food Safety Law in 2009, a study published in 2011 reported over 94 million annual cases of illness and approximately 8,500 deaths related to foodborne pathogens. He attributes these issues to the government, noting that the lack of adherence to laws contributes to broader problems within the legal system, affecting food safety compliance across the country. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.